Are we live? And we're back.
We're
We're
back. And
back.
so are they.
And so are they. So we're here as promised, a little late on a 9:45 start for a Love and Marriage Huntsville live review. So we finally got some content to go live on, and this is just a jump start. We got some other things coming, and this is what we're going to catapult. We're going to get back to y'all because we missed y'all. So again, for those who don't know, I am J Dub, and this is my lovely, beautiful, gorgeous, intelligent wife, Sabrina. Hi.
Thanks.
Say hi to the people.
Hi. Thanks for that amazing intro. I appreciate you so much. Shout out to Auntie Eva. She is one of our moderators, and you guys know Auntie has been with me from like the very, very beginning. So definitely thank you guys for showing up for us tonight. Like J Dub said, we're going to try to be more consistent. I know we said that we're going to come back to YouTube at least on maybe three different occasions, and we never made it back. And we always say we're going to, we're going to, and then we're never consistent. So that is on us, but we are going to try to be a little bit more consistent now, because we actually have shows to review. Because honestly, like a couple months ago, like we literally was laying in bed watching TV, like we don't got nothing to watch. Like it's literally nothing on TV. I don't know what's going on with all these reality shows, taking the break here, taking the break there, 6-month break here, waiting a whole year for them to actually air the show, and then taking a 6-month break there. And like, it's just was crazy. But anyway, we are back. And just to let you guys know, we said it last week. We're going to keep saying it. We're going live on all three of our platforms. Miss Sabrina Miss Sabrina Soul, It's J Dub, and Sabrina and J Dub. And if you go down in the bio, I didn't go back to check to make sure the link was correct, but we're going to only be reviewing moving forward after 3 weeks, well, 2 weeks now, only on the Sabrina and J Dub channel. So please, 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 guys, make sure you guys subscribe, because I've been on YouTube lately, and YouTube, from what other YouTubers are saying, they've been like doing some cruddy stuff, and they've been like demonetizing people and like canceling people's channels and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But anyway, my channel is going to be for the stuff that I'm about to be doing. Hopefully you guys like stick along like with me through my journey. J Dub is going to be doing his own stuff on his channel, but we're going to be reviewing shows on our Sabrina and J Dub channel. So make sure you guys go over to that channel and subscribe if you want to keep up with our reviews. We're only going to be on here maybe 2 more weeks during these reviews for Ready to Love, which starts next week, Love and Marriage Huntsville, and was it any other ones that we decided that we were going to start reviewing?
You said Ready to Love, of course.
Yep, Ready to Love. That's next week.
Mm-hmm.
Love and Marriage Huntsville. And then wasn't it something else that was supposed to be starting?
It feels like it, but I can't remember, and from you all, we looking for suggestions, things that y'all into. So like say, hey, can you do Love Island or Lock Up After Love and anything? I mean, something that we can get into and something we can give y'all good content on. So
definitely put your suggestions in the chat, or you can put them down if you're part of the replay gang. Definitely put the suggestions down in the comment section, just so we'll have like some idea of what you guys are really interested in, because we don't really watch TV like that because there's nothing on. So if we know what you guys are interested in us reviewing, we will. Just we're going to do it over on the Sabrina and J Dub channel. All right, guys. I see you guys commenting. I don't have my glasses on, but hey. I see Michael says, welcome back. I miss you both. We miss you guys. Tina Bree, what's going on? Hey, Really BTV. That's fam right there. Make sure you guys subscribe to Really BTV. She's doing some amazing things. I know since when we left and since we've come back, Really B has taken off. So make sure you guys show her some love. But other than that, tonight, just to let you know, we have more people in, so we'll go ahead and start moving forward. We're already 5 minutes in, but tonight we are going to be reviewing Love and Marriage Huntsville. So this is season 10, and this is going to be episode number 2. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. Please go ahead and light this comment section up. Comment down below if you're part of the replay gang. Let us know what you guys think, because starting off from last episode, Melody is no longer a part of the Love and Marriage Huntsville. She is no longer. You guys are not going to be seeing her. I actually, last week when we were doing the review, I think somebody in the chat was like, "Wait, Melody's not coming back," and I'm like, "Where have they been?" So yeah. Oh, King's Court. That's what you want to start doing.
King's Court. I mean, it looks like the people have spoken. We you know, we got our opinion on King's Court now. We love Queen's Court. King's Court is I don't know, a kind of a stretch, but like I said, I'm seeing the people saying, how about King's Court? King's Court, King's Court. You know, so we work for the people, so we definitely have to consider it.
Honey, the way that I be going on them men when we be watching it, I be like, this a big old, I mean, to me, it's like a whole gigolo fest. That's what it looked like to me. I don't know. Is that the right word, gigolo fest? I don't know.
That's how we want to put it. Apparently, the people want to hear from you. They want to know what's going on. What's your thoughts on
what
King's
is going
Court?
on? I love Queen's Court because Queen's Court, like, to me, it was like, because they were older women. They were single. You know, they had spin the block a couple times, like they were ready to settle down. King's Court, these men are millionaires. One of them is a athlete. The other one is a supermodel. I mean, come on, guys. You guys are really having a hard time trying to find love. Come on, guys. You know, so it's just players court, exactly, Virgo. Period.
Yeah, I was watching the interview on what Charlemagne and that Tyson Becker was doing the interview. He said, like, really, I don't have any trouble looking for love. He made that statement. And I'm thinking, like, what? Why are you on the show? But we know why he's on the show.
Yeah, for promotion, for exposure. And it is what it is. And, you know, and I have to keep reminding myself, don't get too engulfed. Don't get too, like, invested. Like, just look at it as entertainment. But if you want to review it and we come back every week and we kiki about it, honey, we can definitely do that. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, because I said 3 minutes ago we was gonna start. So
I like the 10-minute mark for real. But we go with a vibe. We go with a vibe. You know,
we can make it happen.
So hey, we ain't got nowhere to go. Here we go. Let's go ahead and get to this review, because it's a lot to talk about. I mean, I was one of the people. Again, I'll put my disclaimer in. I'm not a mellometer. However, I thought the show was going to have some trouble. Love and Marriage Huntsville was like, oh, this is male show. It's not going to be able to make it without, or we're going to know something's missing. I can definitely say now, we're on show number 2. Male who. So, you know, I'm just in shock, but we're here. You know, life goes on.
Yeah, I'm not in shock. I'm interested in seeing exactly where the show is going to go without her. I feel like that she played a major part in the show, but I feel like all of them play major parts in the show. You know, I feel like last season, we actually watched last season before this season started because we knew we wanted to review it. And I was like, we should watch the whole season again. So for the most part, we did. And to me, it just seemed like every episode, Melody didn't really have a storyline. She didn't want to film with Martell. She didn't want anything to do with Martell. So literally that was like her situation, which was not a situation. It was a non-existing situation. So it was kind of interested. Every episode, it was interesting to see, what's going to happen? Is she going to run into Martell? Martell going to run into her? Like, how are they going to act? You know, like after episode after each episode, waiting for that, it's kind of like And then it was like she was pulling teeth. You know what I mean? She was going over to this person after the trip. I mean, we talked about this last week, how, you know, if she didn't film with Nell, and if she didn't film with Kimmy, and if she wasn't filming with Tisha, and mind you, she don't really mess with none of them. After the trip, I felt like she really wouldn't have been on the screen. Like, she kind of needed them to ride on their coattails in real life. Not saying that Melody can't hold her own, but I'm just saying for a storyline. From last season, from what I saw, I was just like, I was kind of over the whole Melody line at that point. I was like, okay, I'm ready to see what's next, because she is like, every scene she went with Melody, and it was drama, Melody with them, with that person, this person, that person, that person, and it just gets old after a while. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I feel like the cast can hold their own. I feel like ARIONNE is going to be back very, very, very soon, sooner than later. And I'm interested in seeing the dynamics. Reality TV to me at this point now, it's purely just entertainment. And, you know, these guys have their lives, which is unfortunate because it's their real life. But if they're going to have their lives on TV for us to watch and critique and review and to do all that, hell, give us something great to do, you know, too. So that's just how I feel about it. But I'm sorry, go ahead, because, you know, I can just rant on it.
So let's just go ahead and get into the show, because now who's the new stars? I guess I'm gonna say the ain't no stars. I guess it's just everybody's show at this point. So the first scene, it started out with Scott 2.0, you know, that's Maurice and Kimmy, and now they're giving I guess advice or counsel to Trish and Ken now, because Trish and Ken are having what they seem to say the same problems as co-parenting. They're saying like, well, we're going through a divorce. Of course, Maurice went through a divorce with Kiowa, and they just want to get, how do we navigate this? What can we do to make this happen or make this a smooth transition? And then when I listen to Ken, it really makes me think of how people have like their own perspective of things. Because of course, we're like really in the same season that we left off where they took a break. And Ken is still talking about the barbecue. Like, well, you know, I handled myself well. You know, I thought so anyway about Marquez and everything. But you can see kind of at the time, Ken was throwing shots at Marquez, but at the same time trying to be respectful, I guess. And, you know, it's to me, it's a totally different situation, because like at this point, Ken is taking the lead, but he's not leading well. And you know, Maurice will give the advice of Will, saying like, well, I've been in your situation, but really I'm not really inviting my ex to be my friend, or we want them in our space. We just want to get along for the kids. And you know, it's like it's a mess. It's already a mess, and it just gets worse and worse after that. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Shout out to Miss Misha IMO. Hey y'all. Hey girl. Hey girl. Hey. Thank you so much for stopping by. Shout out to Shade in the City. Thanks so much for stopping by. I love you guys so much. This is our YouTube family. We have missed y'all. Oh my God, the greats are showing up tonight, honey. I appreciate y'all. But I agree. I feel like that last episode, Ken handed Marquez the key to his house. That's how I feel. Because now I feel like you have given Marquez an open door to be back into you guys' life. I felt like he should have consulted with Trisha before actually like making all these arrangements with Marquez, because Marquez came in like, oh yeah, bro, everything is good. Like we good, bro. Like whatever, we gonna be on family vacations. We just gonna be chilling. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever, you know, whatever I got to do, it's for the kids. It's for the kids, you know. But this episode, he actually said he felt like Ken had a motive. No, I feel like Marquez had a motive. I feel like Marquez's motive is to make Trisha's life a living hell, to pretty much he wants to create chaos. I feel like, you know, he doesn't want her happy. I feel like if he said too also, oh God, there's so much to unpack with this, because he even said, made a comment like, I handed Trisha to Ken. Like when he was talking to Maurice, he was like, I didn't even, want to be married to her. My dad was saying like after 5 years, y'all are gonna be divorced. So it was like he was trying to prove his dad wrong by saying, I'm gonna last longer than that. And he was like, he knew after 1 year he should have divorced her, but then he stayed 5 because of what his dad said. But then 5 turned to 7, 7 turned to 12, 12 turned to 15. So I'm just like, So I understand, like, with her situation with her family or whatever, they got ill, so he wanted to be around to be with her for the family. But that was like 7 years later. It looked like to me like you're trying to downplay the situation. I feel like in real life, another reason why he's even back is because he's trying to save face, especially to be on TV. Like, you done moved from a whole nother state to be in a bunch of kids' lives when they start filming on television. You had plenty and ample amount of time. You had 5 years. You're saying like you handed her and the kids over to Ken because you didn't want to deal with her anymore. Like, that's ludicrous, Chris, bro. Like, come on, let's keep it 100. You know what I mean? Just like Maurice says, I don't think that Marquez I think he's slightly delusional. I don't think he realizes like Trish don't want him like that. But I feel like, and I'm going to say this, I feel like if Marquez really did get his stuff together, she would want him back. That's how I feel.
Oh, that's a whole nother subject, because
right,
something
so
is
much
missing.
to unpack.
Something is missing, because it doesn't take that long to get a divorce. Divorces can be complicated, but it don't take that long. And something is missing from the story. But it's, I guess it's a part of the process and it's entertainment for the show. But what's really has got me with Martell. We talking about Mel not having a storyline. Martell is the one to me who doesn't have a storyline.
He got the biggest one.
Well, I mean, he always doing the meetups. He got the meetups. He meet with Destiny at the store, talking about
that's all who he
I want to go furniture shopping for my investment property so I can move coleslaw. But we can say her name now. ARIONNE, his future fiance,
and his future wife.
Yeah, so he's moving her daughter, his son, into his investment property,
which is not going to be an investment anymore, I guess, unless he's going to make her pay rent. I'm sorry to interrupt, but go ahead.
Yeah, so yeah, when you hear all those confusing terms, somewhere there's a lie. There's a lie somewhere in there. So is he moving in with her an investment property? He's gonna let her stay there, and
he said no. She's not moving into his crib, not until they get married.
Okay.
And have you been looking at rings? Has he been looking at rings? I mean, he
kind of,
sorta,
halfway looking at rings.
Sorta, he been looking at rings.
Yeah.
Because because he sees her as wifey material. She's wifey material now. So I guess she went from peasantry to wifey material within a season. I don't know. It seems kind of interesting, because she cooks, she cleans, she takes care of the kids, she meets all his needs when it comes to everything else, whatever, just like he says, pretty much all the things that, he looks for in like a wife. So it's a possibility that, she absolutely could become his wife, which is so crazy to me to even hear. Like, I really don't think that reality has really hit him, or he's really just trying to make the best of the situation, because you're talking all this stuff about this woman, and everything you're saying you want with her, you had with a whole nother woman.
No, he didn't.
He didn't have a marriage and kids.
He said he wasn't personally being taken care of. She didn't cook. She wasn't attentive, but he left out the part that she was making all the money and working, really running the whole ship and being behind the scenes in control of everything.
Oh,
he left those
okay.
parts out. So, but he wants a more attentive woman, a more catering woman, a more domestic woman, you know, domestic woman. So no, he didn't have that. And speaking of that, I could hear those, like those, it was like shots aimed at male behind that, saying like, you know, ARIONNE is the one, she's the woman, she's the, you know, she's the one. But at the same time, when he says, hey, I'm looking at a ring, or kind of looking at a ring, and Destiny saying like, pretty much you stuck at the place where, like, I guess pretty much he lost it all, like you said, because you can tell he's regretting it. And it does feel like to me like he's doing it just to make the best of what he has. And it's not a good thing. And at the same time, he still doesn't want to go to counseling.
He's settling.
Yeah, I like that. There you go.
That's all it is. He don't have no other options.
Right.
Because nobody, I mean, I'm sure it's a lot of women that would love to deal with him because of who he is. But he's not going to get like a woman that really has value, because she values herself and to be with, right. And I was about to say, like, he didn't win with Cherie. He didn't. I mean, yeah, like it's a wrap. Like, she's the only, and I saw this somewhere, but she's like the only one left. So I mean, he don't really got nobody else. But my thing is somebody had made a comment somewhere I had seen. They were like, you know, she was so excited to be like, my man, my man, my man, on her post that she did with her and Martell on her Instagram. But then someone said, well, pipe down, girl, because guess what? Now your place is available. Like, your spot, you're the main one now. Like, you like the bottom one now. So like, your spot is open, so it can get filled. So I mean, like, they always be like, how you got him is how you gonna lose him, whatever. I don't know
how you got him is how you gonna lose him.
I don't know. Everybody's situation is different. This might be, I mean, because kind of like look at Alicia Keys. They've been together for a very long time, and they look like they're very, very happy. And it's a few other people. No, okay. Well, I don't know. I don't keep.
But they still together. They still
together. And you know, and they've been together for a really long time. So I mean, I just don't know. Maybe this was, you know, the doorway to Martell to actually finally being with someone that he truly wants to be with, and the type of woman that he wants to be with. You know, maybe this was I don't know.
She don't know, but
I don't know.
Yeah, like you said about Martell, it's like that's all he has. And even with Destiny, it's starting to feel like they only film with each other, because I don't really see a lot of Destiny interaction with like Letitia or Kimmy or, you know, anybody else. So it's like they're all they got. And at the same time, Destiny, she's going through something too with her. She had a new fiance maybe in Lance, you know, because she told Nell, she was like, hey mother, she was like, hey mother-in-law, you know, like
that was just a figure of speech.
Yeah, I know that. I'm joking about that, because yeah, they weren't going nowhere. Now that Lance has a surprise baby from Instagram, and now she's where she's at. And
Martin got the baby from Instagram.
Well, I mean, that's what he sent her a Thanksgiving text, and it's like 10 minutes later, hey, you checked his feed?
Yeah,
it's a new baby. Yeah. You never mentioned it, so you know that's why I call it surprise from Instagram. so at the same time, like, well, pretty much Lance dropped the ball because she gave him an open book, and when I heard that, I got it. Open book. That is a thing.
She gave him an open book test.
Open book test. Yeah, open book test. Yeah. I'm gonna say it like this: when a woman wants you to succeed, she gives you the test. She gives you the open book. Mm-hmm. I got one. And guess what? I passed.
You did.
I followed it. It was easy. You know, if you want something bad enough, you will apply yourself. That's with anything.
Why don't you go ahead and give them an example?
Give an example.
So they know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, so here, my lovely, beautiful, amazing wife, Sabrina, she gave me the open book test to succeed with her. She pretty much told me, paraphrasing, she said, hey, if you keep doing exactly what you doing, we won't have no issues in moving forward in life together forever. I said, for real? What I'm doing, this is easy. I could do this for 2 lifetimes. That's all I got to do. You sure? She's like, yep, just keep doing what you're doing. I like what you're doing. Keep it up. You got it. And I'm still doing it. She wanted me to win it, and not necessarily like just for me, for us to succeed. She saw something in me to say, hey, we would be a great fit, but you have to be consistent. You can't switch up on me and change. And I'm like, this ain't even work. So how they say this is a labor of love. The stuff that I do, I enjoy doing. And
I was about to say there was a lot of things you're doing that you had to be consistent on, and it was hard for him.
It was hard for me. It was she gave me the cheat, if you will. So yeah, that's an example I have personally. When Destiny said an open book test, I got an open book test. I studied it, applied it, looked at the answers, wrote them down, made some flashcards. Here we are.
That's fast.
I graduated.
And it wasn't an easy test. I tell you, it wasn't an easy test. It was open book, but it wasn't easy because, you know, it's just like any open book test. The answers might be there, but it ain't verbatim. It ain't word for word. You know what I mean? So it's like you gotta know what you're doing for real, and you have to understand the question, and you have to be able to execute the answers effectively. You know, how they mold to you know, my desires, and you know, and vice versa. So we both had to kind of make it make sense for both of us. You know what I mean? So because I could have started doing things, and you could have been like, wait a minute, I thought she was one way, and then she ended up being something else. She changing up on me, you know. So it definitely has to be like a give and take situation. I actually said that to you today. I think it was today. Was it today?
It was today.
Yeah, it was today.
It was today. Yep. Just about our dynamic and how we work so well together. You know.
And Andrea, real quick, she says, I thought Martell was going with Cherie from Real Housewives of Atlanta. We actually mentioned that, or you mentioned that last episode, about how like we thought that it was odd that two different shows allowed them to film together during like the same time, but no, they're not together. They were together, but you know, in Hollywood, people break up, people get together all the time. I honestly think it was more like a publicity stunt, but excuse me, I don't know, I felt like they liked each other, but I think it was more so like, I'm going to use him for some clout, and I'm going to use her for some clout. It was a very convenient situation. So, you know, to stir the pot a little bit on TV. That's what I feel like they did, but they're not together. Don't know what happened.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what happened, because networks don't allow that cross-pollination and fraternization. You know, everybody got tight contracts, so they had to have a blessing from both networks to do so. There's no way that happens. And speaking of Sheree, that makes me think of Chateau Sheree, the house that took, I don't know, 15 years to build. Now we're at Scott Manor, you know, with Marceau building his dream home that's 200 feet above elevation, on top of a mountain, in the woods, under some trees, in a cave. And we can see.
You said in a cave.
Yeah, it's what they, even Tisha said. Tisha was like, we started with Chateau. Look at that. That looked like a Martin L. That looked like we're like you're going up the mountain.
Your profile picture.
Yeah. Like you're going up the mountain to the Scott's house or whatever. Like I said, up a mountain, in the trees, in a cave. And at this point, 6 years in, all they have is the foundation built. You know, because Marceau said we gotta blow up the mountain and do all this, do all that, and they got 18-foot steel beams. And of course, because that house isn't made, that house is not made for people to live in. Well, that location, that's a remote location. Yeah. You know, people don't live up there. Like my wife told me earlier, like, how are they gonna have internet? You know, we having trouble with our internet in the country.
Listen,
you know,
because where we live, honey, our internet goes out at least 5 to 10 times a day, because we live in the sticks, like cornfields and cotton fields and fields and you gotta go through all that to get to where we live. And so yes, so if we having issues with the internet, honey, how they gonna have internet when it snow? Who gonna shovel their driveway? Who gonna shovel it? Who if something happened, how the paramedics gonna get up there? She talking about oh my god, it was so funny because Trisha was like, yeah, because I'm talking about happiness, I'm talking about having a happy life, and then she started talking about her mother, and I mean Tisha started talking about her mother, and Marcel goes, Tisha, how you gonna be talking about happiness and then you say something about your mama? You can't have no happiness if you and your mama in the same conversation. So I thought that was funny. But if she started living there with them and she's there and she's gonna get older, like what are y'all gonna do if something happens? Like this is crazy. I don't know what made them think. I feel like that they got a piece of property. They came across some land that was so dirt cheap. And they were like, you know what? We're going to do what nobody else has done. We're going to buy this land. We're going to, you know what I'm saying? We're going to go ahead and invest this, $800,000 or 1.2 million or whatever. And we're going to build, he said, it's not a house, honey. It's a mansion. It's going to be a mansion. And it is. It's going to be a very nice mansion, which is probably going to end up being worth not too much because no one's going to, because real estate, I'm in real estate. What do they say in real estate? Location, location, location. He's going to have to pass that house down because ain't nobody gonna want to buy that house. Ain't nothing out there. What's her name? Kimmy and Maurice. They didn't even want to live out there. Ain't nobody want to live out there. So I don't know what they're gonna do. I give them the class. I commend them. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be a beautiful home. They were like, the kids, they about to turn 18, the kids going to be married and all, and they're going to have probably 7 grandchildren by the time the house gets finished. I promise y'all, it's going to take a really, really long time. She been waiting for her brokerage to get finished. He ain't doing that. I just feel like when you extend yourself so much in a whole bunch of different directions, you'll never be able to finish projects. That's like anything that you do in life. If you give you're 100%, but if you're giving yourself 20% over here, 30% over here, 15% over here, 35% over here, 40% over here, everything that I said is going to get that percentage. You're not going to ever be able to give it have it 100, you're not going to be able to give it 100. You really have to focus, and that's something that Marceau has shown us over time that he doesn't know how to do. So good luck. Hopefully they can make the home that they're in right now, their tri-level home, a home. They keep remodeling that one and just get as comfortable as possible because they're going to be there for a very long time. Anyway, that's it.
Okay,
thank you.
So yeah, like a Martin Elder said, they live in Huntsville, but they're building custom luxury homes in 2 to 3 months. Marceau is playing. So, I get that. I see that picture. That makes more sense. That's the mountain to Scott Manor, because you live in Huntsville. That's what I know. So, yeah, just like my wife said, it's crazy. Marceau's here, Marceau's there. But this isn't anything new. Everything that Marceau has his hands in and touches, it's always like some kind of delay. So I guess it depends what he's working on or what he's contractually trying to finish, because at the same time, now he's finishing a project for Kimmy and Maurice, or mainly Kimmy. She has like some kind of restaurant that she's open. And like Andrea said, spread too thin. You're over here, you're over there, building Tisha's broke, you're building a house, you're building, everything, cash flow issues. Absolutely. I can believe that because, at this point, we're talking millions of dollars at this point, and it's a thing. But I can say one thing: Marceau has been consistently inconsistent. So that's what's going on with Marceau. So it's like at some point we're looking at that's kind of your rep at this point. Yeah, you are good at not finishing projects. So So as far as that, we go to another Scott brother with Maurice. Now, Maurice is a mentor. Maurice Luther the King. He's always giving motivational speeches and great advice and all these things. So
Did
now,
you just say Maurice Luther the King?
Maurice Luther the King. I have a dream. He's uplifting his people. He's bringing marriages together. He getting reunion. You say, how is that helping the marriage? He's about helping marriages, building families, co-parenting, mediating, everything but being a lawyer.
Did you come up with that name?
Oh,
or did someone else come up with that name?
I can't remember. I feel like
That
I did.
was
I don't
funny.
know. I don't know.
That was funny.
But I think I did when Mel said he's giving Martin Luther King speeches, and I think I said Maurice Luther the King. That's what I think. That's where it comes from. Yeah. So yeah, I did make that up. I'm very copyright that. Maurice Luther the King, Junior. So yeah, he's
oh my goodness. Hey Robin.
Yeah, so he's mentoring. I guess
God.
only one who at this point will accept his mentorship, Marquez. And Maurice wants to get Marquez's side of the situation because they already sat down with Trish and Ken. So he's saying, in this divorce thing, you kind of want to get both sides and hear everybody out and understand that Marquez is, is a character. Is a guy that's very, let's say, self-centered. He's self-focused, even though it's all about the kids and making things better, making things happen. It's something else. So, and we see Marquez talking. He's never talking. It's always not him. What somebody else is doing. What somebody else should have been doing. How somebody should have done it differently, with the exception of him. And he dropped a very, very, very important detail. Marquez let Maurice know that, hey, that paperwork we got for that divorce, they put no minor children in it. That was an aha moment. Aha. Because at the same time, yeah, you can do let's say a expedited divorce with that paperwork, but when you bring kids into it, oh no, it don't just go that fast. They got to sort some things out. They can even at some point grant you the divorce, but the case still isn't over till they get that custody straight, get that child support straight, all that going on. So he got something. And in a sense, he was kind of asking Maurice, like, you think you could represent me in this or whatever was going on? And Maurice, like, at the matters of the heart, I don't deal with. I'm gonna say matters of law. Maurice don't deal in the law. He don't do none of that. He don't do none of that. He's like, oh, you want some lawyer work? Oh no, I don't do none of that. Even though I'm a lawyer, I 5 years of letting Kimmy take everything in the house while I study for my degree, but I'm not using it.
If he was a lawyer in that office that he'd be filming in, the first thing we would see that whenever he sit down at any table would be his degree behind him on the wall. Just like every YouTuber that has been, that has a million, you see that silver placard with the little arrow on it. It'd be right there in the background. You see it. Come on now. If he had a degree, we would see it. Allegedly, I just feel like if he was a lawyer, we would really kind of know. And it's probably public record. He might be a lawyer. I don't know. I'm not gonna look into it. I'm not gonna keep up with it. But I just feel like if he was really a lawyer, it would be somewhere posted. That's just how I feel. And I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no.
Yeah. So, like, as Maurice said, Marquez is not very introspective. He's just like, he's just one side about what everybody's doing to him, what everybody else is not doing. And like I said, when you hear people talk, you can really see how people, their minds, their emotions, it clouds everything. And at this point, Marquez believed that, he was like, we talked about, he thought Ken had some kind of motive, like, and I'm thinking, what benefit would Ken have trying to bring Marquez in the picture to better co-parent with Trisha?
Right.
That don't make sense to me.
Right. Nothing makes sense
at all.
He's pulling, he's reaching, he's pulling, he's delusional. Something is wrong with this man. I don't know where in his brain he thinks that, he is supposed to fit somewhere into this situation, and how he can just come into their lives and take over and downplay Ken. And I'm so upset with Ken especially with the next episode that's going to probably start off with them fighting. I'm so upset that Ken allowed him to get to this point, and it was Ken's fault that why we're even where we're at right now. And it's just an unfortunate situation because Ken really did step up, and Marquez literally is like playing in his face and pretty much saying like, no, like I allowed you to take care of my kids for a little while I wasn't here. You know, at the end of the day, like, you just a boyfriend, you playing house, but I appreciate you, you know, playing house and you tending to the kids and my wife, but daddy's home now. Mm-hmm. Like, that's how he's acting, and that's what I'm getting from him. And it's like he playing in this man's face, and he allowed that man to play in his face. He played in his face last episode, and the only person I gotta blame is Ken. He's talking about, he thinks that Ken got motives. No, Marquez has motives. Marquez wants to make their life a living hell. Marquez don't give a damn about them kids, because if he did, he would have came back 5, 6, 7 years ago to at least be in the kid's life, even if he didn't want her no more. You know what I mean? So yeah, it is what it is. I'm just gonna play this thing out. It pisses me off every time I watch it. Like I said, I try not to get too invested, but it's just, you know, like when I see stuff like that, it just really, really, truly bothers me. I wish that Trisha would get out of her feelings and really sit down and try to have like some effective communication with this man, and don't allow this man to push your buttons to the point where you can't even communicate. You can't even talk. You're so flustered because he pisses you off so much. That means that you probably need to go get some therapy with him, and we can, and you really sit down with somebody to talk, because all y'all is out of control right now. You need some type of mediation, because at the end of the day, it is about the kids. And right now, it's not about the kids. And I think it's so unfortunate, because they yelling and they screaming and they fighting, they doing all this nonsense in front of the kids. And that's a no in my book. And I'm so hurt to even just see that. It's even sad that we're watching it play out on national television, but I digress.
Well, I like this comment by a modern elder. Trisha loves the drama, though, you know, and I feel like it's some truth to that, you know, and you are our local expert of Huntsville, but at this point, something is missing there with Trisha, that she engages in this. Oh, absolutely. And something is missing, that she's still so riled up about this. Because at this point, if they have been getting a divorce for 5 years, these emotional reactions shouldn't be there. Everybody is playing a part in this toxic circus, but the ringleader is Ken. Absolutely. At the same time, if you're going to invite this man to participate in this co-parent situation, even without discussing it with Trisha, you should be able to navigate it. Because like you said, this man is walking, like Chef Fine as Wine said, he walked straight in that house without knocking, not once, but twice. And I mean, coming from the old school, the last of the old school generations, that's an absolute no. It should be like a ring of fire around that door. If the door is wide open, he ain't supposed to come in. He's supposed to announce himself and wait for permission, just like a vampire. There's no way that should be happening, because that shows the lack of respect that he has. But I've said, give him the key. It's walking, it's just crazy. It's insane. It's yeah, and we're just gonna go straight to it, because this was a scene. We're just gonna get into the last scene about the boundary conversation, because I mean, it was just a mess. All, you know, at this point, Trisha's Helen is just like walking up in the house. He getting into it with my friend and all that, and Ken just looking. And this, to me, Ken is an example of, let's say this: everybody's not fit to be a leader. That doesn't mean because you're the man, every man can't take charge. Every man cannot take control. And Ken is trying. I believe he's leading with his heart, but it is really a fail. Absolutely. It's like you are inviting the devil to come in and wonder, why is my house in chaos?
Yeah.
I thought I love the devil. He would come in and be good. You know, because Marquez, that it doesn't sound like he had a conversation with nobody. It's like he broke to a window and just started letting Aaron everybody out or whatever. Well, you know, you don't know me that well, Sharon, to be talking to me, and Trisha, you need to do this and do that. I'm like, wow, it just feel like a man isn't present in that home, and that just it's so wild to me, and it's just that thing. They actually sat to have that conversation. I just knew it was a bad idea from the beginning. I mean, yes, that should how it should have been at first, but at this point, Ken set the tone, and then they invited Trisha invited Sharon, talking about she need to come so he can give her an apology. Marquez has zero accountability about anything. You can't even have a civil conversation with him. Now you want him to sit down and take account, even though he mentioned it. He was like, well, yeah, I shouldn't have came at you with that energy, but that's all his but is what you did to him. And, it's just a crazy fail. And the fact that like Ken is so frustrated, and me at the same time, him inviting Marquez in, but Marquez is still yelling and screaming, position himself aggressively in their house, telling some, yeah, I want to drink too. Marquez played that low key, like I don't want no trouble, but he want all the smoke. He wanted all of it. He actually wanted Trisha to get up and fix him a drink. And if she bought him a drink, probably say, can you put another ice cube in it? Just to test. I've seen people like that. Yep. He's pushing her buttons. They known each other since high school. They know he knows. And like I said, he feels unresolved. He feels inadequate as a man because this man is coming to take over the house. Yep. No, it's a problem. That's why I say he has a motive. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's coming to create chaos, regardless of the fact. Yes, I agree. I think a couple people said like they all poke at each other. I completely agree. But Marquez is he wants to cause drama. He wants to cause chaos, and I feel like he has succeeded. Period. Oh yeah, he came to destroy, kill, whatever. I mean, absolutely. And he's doing it, and he's still doing it. Absolutely. And the same thing is what I don't get. I'm gonna say with Trisha, but especially with Ken, it's like y'all already know this man is coming up into the house uninvited, and he's making an excuse. Well, my daughter had 3 bags, 2 drinks, and a puppy with her. So you think I'm gonna let my daughter just walk in there? I don't care who house is. I'm like, listen, man. Ken should have stopped that right there. He said, I don't care if she was bringing an elephant home. Unless I invite you to the house, leave that elephant at the door and I'll get it. Absolutely. Don't cross these doors until you have my permission, my blessing. Yeah, you want to take vacations. We're not there yet because you don't have the fundamental respect to even enter my house. I get it. When I was younger, I couldn't understand how people couldn't co-parent. Like, oh, your dad only got to be at the steps and stuff like that. I get it now because people are disrespectful. Mm-hmm. People don't. How are you going to try to sit down and be civil with somebody, bring them in your sanctuary, your home, and allow them to cause chaos? That is no go. That's no way. And like my wife was saying, like, yeah, I'm trying to watch the show, but I'm getting fired up. Like, what the hell is he doing? I mean, what's all the muscles for? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Like, first of all, look, I'm gonna tell you one thing. You actually, you don't even talk to her no more. You talk to me. And if you talk to her any more without my permission, I'm coming across that thing. Because he gotta have boundaries. Yeah, man. You gotta set them boundaries. But Marquez, he that's my wife. That's my wife. I'm telling you, like Marquez, he just Ken needs to do a better job. Hopefully, towards the end. Now, when Ken was like, "Get out of my house, get it all," like he was like, "Yeah, you disrespected me. It's time for you to go." Like he's finally putting his foot down, towards the end of the episode. We don't know how it's going to play out, not until next episode. But, hopefully like this is like the beginning of like Marquez, like understanding, like you just can't come and just be disrespecting me or my lady. And it's so crazy. This situation is so crazy because at the end of the day, that is this man's wife. Like it is his wife. His wife.
his whole wife.
That's what I be saying. That's what I be saying. This is my wife. I get that. That's my wife. And Marquez say, look, if the papers ain't signed and the judge ain't stamp it, we ain't had no hearing yet, it's still my wife.
And it is.
Legally, it's still
his wife.
But Chef Fine as Wine say Marquez will make somebody catch a court case for real.
In real life.
Listen, it wouldn't even be an issue, especially in my domain at my house. As big as Ken is, if he wanted to get to Marquez, he would have got to him. He would have got to him, folded him up, threw him out the front door like Jazzy Jeff on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Just that simple, because he deserved that. Because at the same time, Ken is not only being aggressive, emotional, he's also bringing up the past about like, well, oh, you want to set boundaries now.
Yeah.
What it should have been done is when y'all first met, like, hold on.
Absolutely.
He should have straightened him out there right there. If we're not talking about right now and us moving forward, ain't nothing to talk about.
Facts.
And the fact that you got to tell this man to get up out your house because you told him to sit down. Ken told this man to sit. He done stood up you in your house. He shouldn't even had a conversation. He should have put him down.
As soon as he stood up, he should have stood up too and escorted his ass out.
By his shirt and his pants.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mary Willis said, Ken is too much.
They all too much. All of them. It is nothing but a big ball of chaos. Goodness gracious. I feel like for real, we don't need melody. If we got them, that's like 3 melodies. We don't need no more melodies. Like, it's entirely a lot. And I don't even know where these people came from. They just came out of nowhere, and it's a lot for me to watch, to digest. I get so like amped up watching them because I just it's oh God, they just need boundaries. None of them know how to effectively communicate. Like, it's giving like they're all in their mid-20s and early 30s, and it's just a whole bunch of it's like a whole bunch of chihuahuas. Like, that's just what I feel like. And I feel like if Ken really, how can I put it without sounding? If Ken really made himself, you know what? I'm going to give this example and maybe you can help me explain it. So remember that time when we was at the mall and the lady was like, can I talk to her? You know what I mean? Like, she kind of like asked your permission.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just feel like Ken needs to have that kind of energy and he doesn't.
Yeah,
you know
what my wife was referring to is like when people understand like the environment, the room, the dynamics, they already know what level of respect there is. And what my wife was referring to, this was a funny story, even because my wife was a celebrity, and we were at a nail shop, and she was standing behind me. I was standing in front of her, and a lady touched my arm and said, "Excuse me, can I talk to her?" And I said, "Of course, she's a nice lady." But unspoken, I have, without saying, and it's happened so many different times. Maybe this is my personality. This is because I don't play about my wife and all of that.
He does not.
They say like I have a security feel. They know, even though this is a nice, beautiful lady, they see me standing there. I probably should check with Ben to find out if I can even interact with her.
I thought he was like 5'3" before I met him. I was like, he's a small man.
So yeah, when you have that, I would say that air, that presence about you, and that doesn't mean violence or anything. It's just like kids even know like when it's time to play and who they can play with or not. It's just a thing of like, wow, this lady is protected, she's covered. I just can't do anything to this lady without consequence.
Yeah.
Ken is big, and that's it.
You big.
Yeah, but without saying, I send that aura out. That's me. That I'm here to protect and cover.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you might be able to do whatever you think you want to do, but I'm coming.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give everything I got to make sure this is protected. This is my wife. Like Marquez said, this is still my wife. So you got some issue with her, you have to go through me, see me, put me down 4 times, and I come back from the dead and whatever. So yeah, that's the thing. So yeah, it's a presence.
And Ken does not have that, and that's what he needs. Like, I feel like a man can say so much, especially when he's just standing next to his woman or his wife or whatever. Like, you can get that energy, and it can be so much said without saying pretty much anything. And I just feel like Ken is just like Marquez, like, threw the line out there with a whole bunch of stuff on the end of the hook, and Ken latched onto the hook, and all he did was just reel him in. I just feel like Ken needs to have more of this kind of energy, and then Marquez wouldn't have even tried him. And I felt like that's what he did in the very beginning, is he tried him and he fell for it. You know what I mean? This one, no matter where we go, wherever people always be like, your husband, he don't be playing about you, do he? And I be like, no, he don't play. And these be random people just out the blue just be saying stuff like this to me, and says it to him, you know. And I wish Ken gave that energy off in the very beginning, because I feel like if he did, then they wouldn't, Marquez wouldn't be playing in their face like he is. So
yeah, bottom line, Ken is trying to be the nice guy, the peacemaker, other than to protect. Because like when the show went off or whatever, even Chris Fletcher's, when Ken spoke, like, I'm dealing with his emotions and I'm dealing with his aggression, and Chris Fletcher, like, you're not marrying him, so what the hell do you even care about his emotion? Absolutely. His feelings? That's not my, as a husband, as your woman, that's the person emotions and feelings that you need to manage, not another man's. And he's jumping right in the middle of that. They have so much history together. You don't know this man. And obviously good things aren't said about him. You need to take heed instead of, I'm just trying to find the silver lining in this, or no. So pretty much that was pretty much it with the episode with that. And Ken broke out like the Hulk. Like I said, going to the gym, I couldn't understand how he couldn't break away from Trisha and Sharon and not be on top of Marquez's head. Mm-hmm. He didn't really want to do that, because if it was, he'd have been through the counters. Mm-hmm. He'd have been through the drawers in the kitchen, whatever, the kitchen cabinets. Yeah, because there's no way. And it was well deserved if he did it, because he showed this man nothing but respect throughout. Took all this crap from him. And if he's telling you, hey, you're getting aggressive in my house, you either need to sit down, because that's aggressive, you're standing over us, right, or you need to leave. Right. And Marquez like, I'm here, whatever. Like, nah.
And then that's when Ken was like, well, yeah, you need to go on, get out then. As a matter of fact, let me help you. Oh, yeah. I think that was probably the first time I've ever seen him step up and do what he needed to do. Like, that was like the first time. Like, yeah, no, you stood like, we all stand up. We all said, it's time for you to go anyway. Let me see you out. And I just don't understand. Like, I don't know. It just makes me feel like you never know what's going through these people's minds. You really don't know what reality TV, and you guys know, because I've been on reality TV. It's not scripted, but it's very, very heavily produced. And also, too, people be making up stuff behind the scenes. They be setting things up and setting scenes up. Yeah, like tomorrow we gonna do this and da 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 da, and and we gonna get them da 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 da. And what you gonna do is when we gonna go ahead and then we gonna do this. Like, people be setting up scenarios for them to be able to have a moment. And it's starting to make me feel like, aside from everything we just said, it's starting to make me feel like Trisha and Ken especially Trisha, set this up, because I'm trying to still figure out why the heck was Sharon there? Who is this random lady? Why is she there? Is she about to get a peach?
She a gym buddy of 4 years that was in the house when Marquez walked in and offended her. Like,
this is family business. I feel like he needs to apologize to her. So I told her she needed to come. Well, the little school teacher that Marquez had got into about 8 years ago. I told her to come too. Oh, and the girl from the McDonald's line, I remember he was nasty to her. I went ahead and told her to go ahead and come too. Like, is this family business or no? Like, y'all are making this so messy. Like, why was she there? Golly. Like, it's already complicated. You just making it worse, lady. So it's really giving. You wanted it. You wanted it. You set it up. You know how Marquez is. You said y'all been together 15, 20 years. So you say so many times, I know how he is. I know how he could be. I know how. So you knew exactly what you was doing when you invited that lady over. She pushed his buttons the first time. So what makes you think like the second time his button's not going to be pushed again? Y'all was already kind of attacking him, antagonizing him, making him feel a type of way. Because in real life, y'all don't like him. You already knew how he was going to respond, and then you add this on top of it. So I don't know what other kind of conclusion you thought was going to end up being at the end of that episode. Like, what made you think anything was going to be other than what it was? So yes, I feel like absolutely Trisha, because I feel like Ken had anything to do with that. I feel like Trisha, what's the word I'm looking for? She congregated that. Is that a good word?
Maybe it's so. Well, she put it together.
She put it
together.
I ain't appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, yeah, you can't have a civil conversation on your own. So you're gonna bring a third party that's a non-factor. And it's gonna make sense. So I was like, nah, I can't. They want this toxicity. They want it.
Absolutely.
They want it. So I'm gonna say like this, and I thought I would never say this. I believe Marquez makes great reality TV. In that irritation, that chaotic scene, that left the argument go to the lady Sharon, like, well, you know, we finally gonna introduce each other, and can I get you a drink?
Listen.
That man said, can I get you something to drink? Listen. He didn't even get nothing to drink, but he's about to get her something to drink.
Know what he doing?
Man, that boy, that was hilarious.
Listen,
that was hilarious.
Listen.
I cannot believe what I saw, what I heard.
Listen,
he's about to get that lady a drink.
Even when he walked in, he was like, "Damn, y'all drinking something? Y'all give me nothing to drink?"
They
like,
didn't respond.
They didn't. Like, I'm telling you, like, I feel like it's all of them are playing their own part.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like their own game, you know? And I feel like right now Marquez is winning out of all three of them. He winning. He got the best of them. Mm-hmm. He know exactly what he doing. Ow. No, golly, I'm so excited.
So yeah, that was pretty much the episode. And, you know, as we see, it's going to go on, and rightfully so. This is the hot topic, you know. Ken still needs counseling. He needs a mentor to how to navigate the situation, when at the same time he got his own problems. Why is my fiance taking more than 5 years to get a divorce, and she don't want to marry me after this? You know, what can you say?
How you know she don't want to marry him afterwards?
Because he mentioned it
in
last season or in the mid-season break, and she was like, well, you know, she was very iffy.
Right. I remember that.
Yeah, that was more so like a non-answer. It was like, he's like, if you ready, I'll get the ring tomorrow. She's like, I want to slow this thing down. You know, we got 2 houses, 2 boats, a car, and grandkids, but let's slow this thing down. Pump the brakes, and I got to get a divorce. So yeah, it's a thing. So.
Look, she gonna marry him just as fast as she getting a divorce.
Oh yeah. They gonna be common law by that time. They bringing common law back now. So.
Are they really?
Yeah, you remember I told you, they said if you've been with someone for 5 years, they're gonna like automatically marry you now. They can prove that you've been on paper like cohabitating, living, doing your thing. They're just gonna make you married.
And wasn't it before 7 years?
Used to be 10 in most places.
I thought it was 7.
Different varies in different states.
But
they did away with it. Now they bringing it back, and they cutting it half of the time
because they want that money.
Yep.
They want that marriage money.
Yep.
That's what it is. It's all a gimmick. Mm-hmm. It's all about getting that money.
Yep. So that was pretty much the end of the episode, and you know, we'll be back absolutely next week. Close us out, Why?
Yeah. We talked about everything.
Yeah, that was it. Other than guess what? We skipped one subject, Tisha, and that didn't matter with her and MJ going to college. We covered every base.
I guess
you want to tell them some more? We got some more to talk about. We can lock in. Let's go. And put my glasses back on.
No. I just wanted to make sure that was all we talked about, because you know sometimes we'll get off and I'll be like, oh shoot, we ain't talked about that. We ain't said that. We should have said that. Yeah, I think that's it. Well, anyway, make sure you guys, if you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. We would so greatly appreciate it. If you are not subscribed to my channel, Miss Sabrina Soul, I'm gonna be doing other videos. I promise I am. Every time I say I'm gonna do it, I don't do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. We just ain't there yet. Okay. You guys know we are in my boutique. I do luxury consignment of luxury items. Also, too, if you're interested in consigning with me, definitely let me know. I do reselling as well. And I'm going to be start doing like a day in the life kind of thing. I'm going to be doing like get ready with me's, and I just want it to be more of a lifestyle channel, Miss Sabrina. So I know I'm losing a lot of subscribers too. So if you guys are interested, I'm not even going to waste your time. That's what I'm going to be doing on this channel. It's J-Dub. He's going to be doing his stuff on his channel. And then too, just to let you know, this is 2 more weeks of this, I think it is. Yeah, because this is our 2nd week. 2 more weeks, we're going to be filming on all 3 channels. After the 3 more weeks, after 2 more weeks, we're going to only be filming and recording off of Sabrina and J-Dub. That's where we're going to be reviewing all of our shows. Married at First Sight, we'll do that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe. Love and Marriage Huntsville. Hopefully, if Love and Marriage DC, I don't know if we're going to do Love and Marriage. Ready to Love starts next week. Ready to Love starts next week, guys. We're going to be reviewing Ready to Love, okay? So if you guys are interested, and that's not until August the 1st is going to be the first episode. If you guys are interested in watching our reviews for that, make sure you subscribe to the Sabrina and J-Dub, because we will not be on Miss Sabrina Soul or It's J-Dub's channel. Okay. We're going to be reviewing it on Sabrina and J-Dub's channel. So definitely going to be doing Love and Marriage Huntsville, Ready to Love. If you want us to do King's Court, I know about 4 or 5 of you said King's Court, so we can definitely start doing that. And I was about to say, I don't know if I want to talk about it on this one, but Ready to Love had like a little, what do you call it? Recap last night.
Because of the break?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because of the break. But I don't know if you guys want to like touch on that maybe tomorrow or next week before the season actually starts, where we do our own recap of what we saw. Definitely let us know. You can put that down in the comment section for the replay gang as well. Other than that, I think that's it. Make sure you subscribe to It's J-Dub's channel. I put that down in the bio. Follow me on Instagram. I'm going to start posting more on Instagram about the consignment and just like everyday life stuff. Just getting back into social media. We've literally been, just living our life like just happy over here in real life, without you two, without like the world in our ear, just living our best life. We've been having so much fun together. But we're ready to come back to you because we miss you. But anyway, other than that, yeah, make sure you go over, subscribe, Sabrina and J-Dub. And I guess that's it.
We'll see you next week.
All right. Love you guys. Bye.